What if everything you know about money is holding you back? Most people work harder, save more, and still struggle. Why? Because wealth isn't about effort, it's about mindset. Robert Kiyosaki's secrets reveal how the rich think differently, and today you'll learn how to do the same. Imagine breaking free from paycheck-to-paycheck living and building real financial freedom. Sounds impossible? It's not. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the habits that can change your life fast. Ready to think like the rich? Let's dive in. She always believed that life had more to offer, but for years, she felt stuck, trapped in a cycle of monotony and self-doubt. It wasn't until she hit rock bottom that she realized the power of having a strong why. You see, finding your passion isn't just about doing what you love. It's about uncovering what drives you to get out of bed every morning. For her, it was the realization that she wanted to create a life of financial freedom, not just for herself but for her children. That why became her anchor, her compass, and her fuel to reprogram her mind for wealth. She often shares how she stumbled upon her purpose during one of the darkest periods of her life. It wasn't glamorous. There were no light bulb moments or grand epiphanies. Instead, it was a slow, painful process of peeling back the layers of her subconscious money blocks and questioning her long-held money beliefs. She started asking herself, what would I do if money weren't an issue? That question opened the door to a wealth mindset she never knew existed. It wasn't about chasing money. It was about chasing meaning. Once she found her passion, everything started to shift. She began to see opportunities where others saw obstacles. She realized that the scarcity versus abundance mindset wasn't just a cliche, it was a choice. By focusing on her goals and aligning them with her purpose, she started to attract the right people, resources, and ideas. It's like the universe conspires to help you when you're clear about what you want. But here's the thing, clarity doesn't come overnight. It's a journey, and every step forward brings you closer to the life you're meant to live. Adversity has a way of testing your limits, doesn't it? For her, it came in waves. A painful divorce, financial ruin, and even being excommunicated from her religion. Each blow felt like a door slamming shut, but instead of giving up, she decided to push through. She realized that adversity isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of a new one. It's where you learn to reprogram your mind for wealth and develop the resilience of a financial freedom mindset. She often says, your struggles don't define you. Your response to them does. One of the hardest lessons she learned was about the rich versus poor mindset. When she was at her lowest, she noticed how easy it was to fall into a scarcity mindset, focusing on what she didn't have instead of what she could create. But she flipped the script. She started small, selling items she no longer needed, cutting unnecessary expenses, and slowly building her confidence. It wasn't just about money. It was about proving to herself that she could rise above her circumstances. That shift in perspective was the first step toward breaking free from her subconscious money blocks. Her story is a testament to the power of perseverance. She didn't just survive adversity. She used it as a springboard to thrive. She began to see challenges as opportunities to grow, to learn, and to build the habits of a millionaire. It wasn't easy. There were nights when she cried herself to sleep and mornings when she didn't want to get out of bed. But every time she got back up, she became stronger. And that strength, it became the foundation for everything she built afterward, leading her to the next chapter of her journey. She'll tell you this: education saved her life. Not the kind you get in a classroom, but the kind you seek out when you're hungry for change. When she was at her lowest, she stumbled upon a book that would alter her entire perspective. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That book opened her eyes to the difference between working for money and making money work for you. It wasn't just a book. It was a blueprint for reprogramming her mind for wealth. From that moment, she became obsessed with learning, devouring books, podcasts, and courses that taught her how to build a wealth mindset. But education isn't just about consuming information. It's about applying it. She started small, testing out the principles she learned. For example, she began tracking her expenses and identifying subconscious money blocks that had been holding her back for years. She realized she had been living with a scarcity mindset, always afraid there wouldn't be enough. By shifting her focus to abundance, she started making smarter financial decisions, like saving consistently and investing in her future. It wasn't about perfection, it was about progress. Her journey of self-improvement didn't stop with money. She also worked on her mindset, her habits, and her vision for the future. She created a morning routine that included journaling, affirmations, and visualizing her goals. She even started teaching her kids about financial psychology, showing them how to save, invest, and think like millionaires. Education, she says, isn't just about what you learn, it's about who you become in the process. And as she grew, so did her opportunities, leading her to the next big step in her journey. She never imagined that real estate would become her ticket to financial freedom. But once she discovered its potential, there was no turning back. Transitioning from a teacher to a real estate investor wasn't easy, but it was worth every sleepless night. She started small, purchasing her first property with a modest down payment and a lot of faith. Leveraging that property, she reinvested the profits into more deals, slowly building a portfolio that would eventually replace her teaching income. It wasn't just about buying houses, it was about creating a system that worked for her, not the other way around. One of her favorite strategies is leveraging properties to maximize returns. For example, she would buy undervalued homes, renovate them, and either rent them out or sell them for a profit. She also kept her debt low, ensuring that her investments didn't become liabilities. The key, she says, is to think long-term. Real estate isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a wealth-building tool. She often shares how she used the principles of financial psychology to stay disciplined, reinvesting her profits instead of splurging on luxuries. That's how millionaire habits are built, one smart decision at a time. But real estate isn't just about numbers. It's about vision. She learned to see potential where others saw problems. A rundown property wasn't a headache. It was an opportunity. She also made it a point to network with other investors, learning from their successes and mistakes. Over time, she developed a financial freedom mindset that allowed her to take calculated risks and trust her instincts. Real estate, she says, isn't just about building wealth, it's about building a life you love. And as her portfolio grew, so did her dreams, leading her to the next chapter of her journey. She'll tell you this: if you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. Vision and goal setting became her secret weapons for success. It started with something as simple as a vision board, a collage of images and words that represented the life she wanted to create. At first, it felt silly, but over time, she noticed something incredible. The more she visualized her goals, the more opportunities seemed to appear. It wasn't magic. It was focus. By keeping her dreams front and center, she trained her mind to spot possibilities others overlooked. That's the power of a wealth mindset. Writing down her goals became another game changer. She didn't just jot down vague ideas like, make more money. She got specific: own 5 rental properties by 2025, or save $100,000 for investments. These weren't just wishes. They were targets with deadlines. And every time she hit one, she celebrated even the small wins. She often says, success is a series of small steps, not one giant leap. By breaking her goals into manageable pieces, she made the process less overwhelming and more achievable. It's a habit she teaches her kids, too, because millionaire habits start young. But vision isn't just about what you want. It's about who you need to become to achieve it. She worked on reprogramming her mind for wealth, replacing old money beliefs with empowering ones. She started affirming, I am capable of creating financial freedom, even when she didn't fully believe it yet. Over time, those affirmations became her reality. Vision and goal setting aren't just tools, they're a lifestyle. And as she checked off one goal after another, her confidence grew, setting the stage for her next mission, teaching the next generation how to build their own financial freedom. She believes that financial literacy is one of the greatest gifts you can give your children. It's not just about teaching them to save their allowance. It's about helping them develop a wealth mindset from an early age. She started by introducing simple concepts like the difference between needs and wants, and gradually moved on to more advanced lessons like investing. For example, She taught her kids how to negotiate by letting them practice at garage sales. If they can learn to negotiate over a toy, she says, they can negotiate a salary or a business deal one day. One of her favorite strategies is teaching her kids to save, spend, and invest in equal parts. Whenever they receive money, whether it's from chores, birthdays, or small jobs, they divide it into 3 jars, one for saving, one for spending, and one for investing. She even introduced them to the idea of real estate by letting them invest in small family projects, like flipping a property. They'd get a small share of the profits, which made the lessons real and exciting. It's not just about money, it's about building the habits of a millionaire while they're still young. But financial literacy isn't just about numbers. It's about mindset. She teaches her kids to think in terms of abundance, not scarcity. Instead of saying, "We can't afford that," she encourages them to ask, "How can we afford that?" It's a subtle shift, but it makes all the difference. She also talks openly about her own money mistakes, showing them that failure is part of the journey. The goal, she says, isn't to raise kids who are rich. It's to raise kids who are resourceful. And as they grow, so does her vision for changing the way financial literacy is taught, not just at home but in schools. She's never been shy about her thoughts on the education system, and let's just say they're not exactly glowing. Schools teach you how to pass tests, not how to build wealth, she often says. Growing up, she was taught to get good grades, go to college, and find a stable job. But no one ever mentioned the importance of a wealth mindset or how to reprogram your mind for financial success. She believes the system is outdated, designed for a world that no longer exists. And the result? Generations of people stuck in a cycle of financial struggle, unable to break free from subconscious money blocks. One of her biggest critiques is the lack of financial literacy in schools. Kids graduate knowing how to solve quadratic equations but have no idea how to budget, invest, or build passive income. She's seen firsthand how this gap in education creates a rich versus poor mindset, where only those who seek out financial knowledge on their own can escape the scarcity trap. She advocates for teaching kids practical skills like how to manage debt, invest in real estate, and develop millionaire habits. If we can teach kids to memorize historical dates, she says, we can teach them how to create financial freedom. But she doesn't just criticize, she takes action. She's made it her mission to fill the gaps the education system leaves behind. Whether it's through workshops, online courses, or one-on-one mentoring, she's helping people of all ages reprogram their money beliefs and adopt an abundance mindset. She dreams of a future where schools prioritize purpose and financial psychology as much as they do math and science. And while that dream may seem far off, she's already planting the seeds for change, one student at a time. Her vision for the future doesn't stop there. It's about creating a ripple effect that transforms entire communities. Her vision for the future is as bold as it is inspiring. She's not just focused on growing her real estate portfolio, she's focused on creating a legacy. For her, wealth isn't just about money, it's about impact. She dreams of using her success to create jobs, fund community projects, and mentor others on their journey to financial freedom. One of her biggest goals is to write a book that combines her personal story with actionable strategies for reprogramming your mind for wealth. It's not enough to succeed, she says. You have to lift others as you climb. Homelessness is one of the causes closest to her heart. She's seen how a scarcity mindset can trap people in cycles of poverty, and she's determined to break that cycle. Her plan? To develop affordable housing projects that not only provide shelter, but also offer resources for financial education and personal development. She believes that by addressing both the physical and psychological barriers to success, we can create lasting change. It's not just about giving people a roof over their heads. It's about giving them the tools to build a better future. But her goals don't stop there. She envisions a world where financial literacy is accessible to everyone, regardless of their background. She's already working on creating online courses and workshops that teach the principles of a wealth mindset, millionaire habits, and financial psychology. Her ultimate dream is to create a foundation that empowers people to overcome subconscious money blocks and achieve financial freedom. The more people we help, she says, the more we all win. And as she looks ahead, She knows this is just the beginning of her journey to make a difference. Now that you've got the blueprint, the question is, what are you going to do with it? Knowledge is powerful, but only if you take action. Are you ready to reprogram your mind for wealth, adopt millionaire habits, and finally break free from those subconscious money blocks? Remember, the difference between a rich versus poor mindset isn't luck. It's the choices you make every single day. So, what's your next move? Will you start tracking your money, set clear goals, or maybe even pick up a book like Rich Dad, Poor Dad to deepen your financial psychology? Here's the challenge. Take one habit from this video and apply it today. Just one. Maybe it's creating a vision board, writing down your financial goals, or teaching your kids about money. Whatever it is, commit to it. Because the truth is, financial freedom isn't a dream. It's a decision. And the sooner you start, the faster you'll see results. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And here's one more way to make an impact. Share this content with your family and friends. You never know who might need this information to start their own journey toward financial freedom. Let's keep building that wealth mindset together. See you in the next video.